Hello guys, what is up? It is Martin from Home Studies here with a new video for you today, and it's going to be all about linking words, those tricky little phrases and words that are really helpful for you and your Cambridge exams. The examiners love them, they look out for them, so it's really important to know what they are, how to use them, and when to use them too. So let's get on. So in the video, we're going to look at a little sample answer and just see how those linking words and phrases are used in writing. And there's a little challenge for you to write an even better answer. And if you comment it on the video, we'll look at as many of those answers of yours as we can and give you some feedback on those. So make sure that you check us to the end. And if you have the time, give it a go for some great feedback. So if you're preparing for Cambridge exams or you just want to give it a go to improving some of your English, remember to subscribe to our channel and make us the #1 place on the internet for you and your Cambridge exam advice. So if you were looking like this guy when we started talking about those linking words and phrases, then this is clearly the video for you. They can be pretty confusing at times, but it's really important that you understand them, especially if you're taking the Cambridge exams, because trust me, they do keep coming up and they never ever stop.
What are linking words?
Well, we're using the term linking words in these videos, but it could also be phrases. We're just using this term linking words for simplicity. And what they are is they're words or phrases that are used to connect other words or phrases together.
Why would I want to do that?
Well, there's actually a whole bunch of reasons why you'd want to do that, especially when it comes to your exams.
You're really not gonna explain that a bit more? Reasons such as what? Why would I want to connect words and phrases together?
Let's look at some examples so we can see exactly why or when you'd want to connect those words and phrases together. So the first example we have is used to compare two situations. It'll say how they're similar or different. So the example sentence, Trisha murdered her husband with a hammer. Similarly, Janice used a blunt object to murder her spouse. Now, the linking term there, of course, is similarly, meaning that these two murders are in some way the same as each other. In our second example, we can see linking words used to show contrast, to show difference between two things. So, for example, however, Janice hit her husband just once, whereas Trisha struck hers 73 times. Now, in this sentence, we've got both however and whereas, which are both linking words used to show contrast or difference. So in our third example, we can see linking words being used to demonstrate a condition. Trisha is likely to go to prison for the murder unless she's able to cover it up, whereas Janice has a strong argument for self-defense. Now, unless is being used here to show a condition in the situation. We also have the linking word whereas, which is used to show contrast yet again. And in the fourth example here, we can see linking words or phrases being used to illustrate. For example, in the case of Trisha, she could, for example, hide the body somewhere secret. Now, for example is being used, surprisingly enough, to add illustration by introducing an example.
Does any of this matter for my exams?
Why, yes. Yes, it does matter for your Cambridge exams.
You're annoying. Tell me how this helps with the Cambridge exams.
Well, basically, it contributes to your score for organisation in your writing. They basically help the text to be cohesive, with all of your arguments seeming to be connected to a greater piece, rather than appearing to be totally separate from each other. You should also remember that it's really important to illustrate your points with evidence or examples, and you'll need appropriate linking words or phrases to properly do that too. And then they're also used in the listening pieces as a sort of misdirect to make it sound like one answer is correct, where actually a completely different answer is the correct one. So you really have to listen out for them, and we'll talk a bit more about that in the next video as well. And who knows, if you can really nail the use of those linking words, you might just really impress your examiner. And well, what could happen then? Maybe one day, a little while after you've done those exams, a Cambridge examiner, a short man, will knock on your door. You'll wonder who it is. You weren't expecting this person. It's a completely new person. You open the door, this person is giggling, and you're very confused. And they say, "What's laughing?" "I'm your Cambridge examiner, and I really loved your use of linking words." And they'll run away giggling because they're too embarrassed to talk to you anymore because you impressed them so much that they fell madly in love with you. That could definitely happen. That's a real thing. Okay, let's have a quick practice with some of those linking words and phrases that we've just looked at. On the next slide, you're going to want to pause the video for a few minutes and have a go at some exercises that we've set you. There's 4 questions, and they're in the format of Use of English Part 4, so that you can practice both your grammar skills and your exam skills at the same time. So 2 birds, 1 stone right there. Now, what you'll have to do is you'll get one sentence, read that sentence, and then you have the second sentence started for you. And all you have to do is complete the second sentence so that it has the same meaning as the first sentence, obviously using the linking word or phrase that you've been given to start with. So pretty straightforward, shouldn't be too complicated for you, and I'm sure everyone will be able to do it pretty well. So give it your best shot, guys. Okay guys, so remember that what you have to do in this task is read each pair of sentences and then complete the second sentence using that beginning that's given to you so that it has the same meaning as the first sentence in each pair. Okay, so now you're going to want to pause the video and have a go at those exercises, because when you press play, the answers are going to come up. So now is the time to pause it. Good luck. All right, let's have a quick check of those answers. So for this first one here, we've got, on the one hand, working as a prison guard is well paid, but on the other hand, it's a very demanding job. And as you probably worked out, that is a contrast that's being shown there. Okay, so let's have a look at the second one. Contrary to what some people say, video games don't cause violent crime. So same again, we've got a contrast there as what people are saying is incorrect. And this is actually true, just as a little side note. There's been so many studies on whether video games correlate with violent crime, and they actually find either no effect or often the opposite effect. But the reason that the rumor persists is that politicians actually often use this to sort of deflect from the actual societal problems that they would be responsible for. So it's sort of a way of blaming other people for things that maybe they're not responsible for. But I digress. Let's move on to that third right there. Okay, so on this one we've got, despite the fact that Ed's fingerprints were found at the crime scene, they still haven't been able to prove his guilt. Okay, so pretty similar to before. And the last one, even though forensic science has improved, it's still not enough to solve many cold cases. Okay, so that's all 4 of the answers that we've provided for you there. If you've got something different, feel free to comment and we'll let you know if it's right, and if it's not right, we'll try and explain to you exactly where you've gone wrong and see if we can help you out a little bit. And as always, we'll reply to as many comments as we possibly can. Okay? All right. But good job, everyone that had a go at that. I hope that you all got some great answers. And again, feel free to comment exactly what you got. Okay, so now let's look at an example answer from a Cambridge writing exam. On the next page, you can even pause the video and see if you can spot all of the linking words or phrases that are used, and maybe even make a note of exactly what they're being used for. So the question for this piece is asking about whether it's better to take holidays in your own country or to take holidays abroad. So have a quick look through the answer. It's not a perfect answer in any way, shape or form. You could even improve on it, and I definitely think it's worth giving a go. But do remember what the question is and have a look through for those linking words to see exactly what they're being used for and when they're being used. So let's have a quick look through the linking words that are used in this piece. Now, firstly, is being used right at the beginning there to introduce an argument. Then we have such as being used to introduce an example. And then whereas being used to show contrast again, to show how things are different. That's followed by this suggests being used to introduce actually the conclusion that's being made, though being used for contrast, however, also being used for contrast, and in conclusion, of course, to introduce the conclusion of the piece. Did you manage to find all of those? So, like we said earlier in the video, you should give it a go writing an example answer yourself. And if you comment, we'll even have a look at it and give you some feedback. Well, we'll do that for at least as many as we can for sure. So definitely give it a go. And if you get a chance, send it over to us and we'll have a look at it for you. So we hope you enjoyed the video, that maybe you had a bit of a chuckle, but you got something from it and found it pretty helpful in getting to know those linking words and expressions to use in your Cambridge exams. So remember to like and subscribe to get even more of these videos and keep improving your English. See you next time.